Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of DeathStryke Media, the second best movie-related show in the entire state of Texas. My name is James Waddington, and I am joined today by Sean Sharp. How the hell are you, man?
Better than I deserve. How are you doing in the compound here?
Not too bad. Just some quick news. This is our first official show.
Yes, so there should be confetti, but I think we saved it for rats, to throw in their cage. But hey,
they gotta live too.
They gotta live too.
All right, this is since this is the first show, we'll tell you a little bit how it's gonna run down. This is our Force Friday show, guys. It's gonna come out tomorrow. TV magic. We shoot it the day before. We're gonna run down a list of Star Wars topics. This is our Star Wars show, and simply talk about them. All right. Here's what's up first.
Well, hopefully have a little bit of fun doing it too.
Fun? We gotta have fun? Oh, okay, I suppose so.
Hopefully. I said hopefully.
Hopefully.
A new hope. New hope. Yeah.
Alrighty. First news topic of the day. Han Solo has started principal photography under the codename Red Cup. Han Solo director Christopher Miller posted on Twitter that principal photography has officially begun. Now, what do you think of the working title? And with principal photography starting sooner than expected, because it was supposed to start in March, do you think Disney and Lucasfilm are super confident in the Han Solo film?
Well, addressing the name, Red Cup, of course, I love puns.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, it's a great pun. If you don't get the Red Cup, you are obviously not popular, and we're not invited to many parties in high school, so I'm sorry if that doesn't apply to you. Now, but as for confidence in a Han Solo film, I don't think they lack confidence. I think maybe the audience may have a little lack of confidence.
Well, Harrison Ford, to at least me, I'm not the youngest generation of Star Wars fans, and you're not the oldest generation of Star Wars fans, but Harrison Ford is Han Solo to us.
He is Han Solo. The thing is, it's like why Kylo Ren can't go home. He killed the king. He killed the king of cool. He killed
his daddy. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Force Awakens, just get the hell out.
Even I've seen The Force Awakens, so there's no excuse.
No excuse.
Yeah. How can you compare to that? I mean, the fact is, he was such an icon for one. Originally in A New Hope, he didn't have a big role.
No, in fact, Harrison Ford was like, I like my character. It's great. He wanted to die in the original trilogy. He was like, my character arc is done. I don't
and his great argument was the fact that once he was frozen in carbonite. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Is that it would be more ethos and pathos for a movie storyline if he had died. It would give Luke much greater drive to complete his journeys, his hero's quest. Because kind of the thing is in wars or any kind of conflict you have loss, and that leads into another movie I recently saw. So once again, if I've seen it and you haven't seen it, you are way behind. If I am seeing it,
you must live under a rock.
I live in a cave. So
this is Texas, so it has to be Enchanted Rock. Look it up.
Look it up. It's a reference. But anyway, so I feel they have tons of confidence. Disney's a clever company.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest.
I think they had 6 top 10 movies now, of all time. 6. They have 6. Most of them, I think, are Star Wars films. I think all of them are Star Wars films. But
honestly, I think somewhere there's a vault where there is loose money, where they do actually do the whole like Scrooge McDuck thing. Yes, another Disney reference, where they actually swim in it just to reconfirm
that they have all of the money. All the money. Just wait till Beauty and the Beast comes out. They'll have even more money.
More money. Yeah. But I think they have tons of confidence. I think for me, as a fan and a huge fan, I have kind of doubts of can they pull it off. I mean, whoever the lead actor is,
Alton Ehrenreich. I hope I'm saying that right. Alton Ehrenreich.
And that's what I've read as well. Is Alton Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich. He seems like a great guy. Sorry, I screwed up the name.
But the thing is, that's a big burden.
Yeah, you got big shoes to fill, and there was a little picture of Alton Ehrenreich and Harrison Ford having lunch together at a diner. I think that's a tradition now in Star Wars, and I don't know, you can correct me.
Kind of a passing of the torch?
Yeah, exactly, passing the torch. I think it is huge shoes to fill, and I wouldn't want it. I don't think you would want that kind of pressure, unless it's like a nice cushy role in Star Wars. I would love to take it.
I don't know, maybe in a parody film,
Oh yeah,
Han Solo, the later years, something like that.
Leia,
give me a beer, give me blue bantha milk. But no, that's massive. It's like someone trying to play, oh good grief, Bond after Sean Connery.
Oh yeah, good call.
King of Cool.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, if your favorite Bond is Sean Connery, you picked a good Bond. If even I'm not gonna say Pierce Brosnan. He was half-assed, but he was okay.
He was okay. He actually successfully, a little off topic, but he successfully carved a niche of being a different type of Bond. Just like Daniel Craig, I think, has been successful carving a very specific niche. If he can't outthink you, he'll just break you in half.
Topic for another day. Yeah. But yeah, you're correct. Yeah. So going on to the second topic, there's a few books coming out. Do you read books?
I do when I have time. I've actually, I do have homework for Star Wars stuff. For me, a lot of it is I look at the actual visual media. Yeah. Because that tends to apparently dictate more of the actual canon now. I would argue.
That's what the common fans will watch is the movies first, the animated TV series second, and then the books and comic books. But for hardcore Star Wars fans, the books are the nitty-gritty, the juicy bits that you don't get on film. Wow. With that being said, there's actually a couple new books coming out. One of them being Star Wars Aftermath, The Empire's End. It's part of a trilogy, written by Chuck Wendig. I got a confession to make. I haven't read any of them. I got mixed reviews. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what this third one is before I pick up this trilogy. But it has already been confirmed that Lando is going to be in this book. Mm-hmm. Perfect time for him to come in. We haven't seen a whole lot of him in other canon, such as he's been in a few of the comics. I think he had some parts in some of the Star Wars comics, and he hasn't really been in the animated series. However, do you think they're using Lando enough, or do you think they're really waiting for him to use him in the Han Solo flick, going back to Han Solo?
Honestly, I think the biggest problem is that they were waiting for the right time. I know it sounds like I'm dodging the question. It's actually the fact that the problem with Lando, like Han Solo, is how do you have something that expresses something authentic to that character?
Yeah, I forget who they got casting for this guy. Daniel Glover?
Yeah, Daniel Glover.
Yeah, Glover. He looks like he's going to slip right in there and be that extra layer of cool that's right next to Han Solo.
So, this is like a competition of cool,
Yeah, it's cool versus cool, spy versus spy sort of
kind of thing. Yeah. So, I think a lot that they were afraid that they would mess it up. And quite frankly, I've seen some of the comic appearances of Lando, and they were always a little flat.
Yeah.
And I think for him to be appearing in the Aftermath books, I think is a good, kind of a good zone. For him to appear in the Han Solo movie, I'm definitely excited about, because once again, it's spy versus spy. They have a backstory that we only got like 10 seconds of.
Exactly. Yeah. He had the Millennium Falcon before Han Solo, and Han Solo swindled it from him.
How?
Gotta see that. We gotta see that on film. And the Kessel Run. We gotta see the Kessel Run. It's not 14 parsecs. It's 12. Anyway.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
But
go ahead.
No, I think that's been the biggest problem, is that they did listen to a lot of fans who were like, hey, in the second movie we got a little more diversity from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And how to be authentic and keep those characters, because it's so easy to try to do something with an established character and it fall flat, and then it kills it horribly. I mean, there are certain movies we will not refer to on this show, but that made kind of a lot of established characters really flat.
Yeah, that's very true.
It was a winter special.
Forget it.
Yeah, moving on. But that I think they were wise in holding off for a better vehicle.
I think you're right. I do believe they're gonna see what fans' reactions are in this book with Lando and the dialogue. See how well Chuck Wendig has written. From what I understand, he actually writes pretty good. I think he had a little bit of a miss in the first book. The second book apparently is much better. Again, I haven't read them. It's only from speculation and reviews. But I think they're waiting on a fan reaction, how well he is written with the hardcore fans, before they're really going to start pushing him into the Han Solo movie. That's my opinion. I know it's crazy opinion, but it's my opinion nonetheless.
I think it's a valid opinion. It's just, once again, I'm more the visual media aspect of it. Is if he plays well in the movie, in his appearances, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to do a spin-off of just Lando. I mean,
that's a stretch.
I haven't read anything. I haven't seen anything.
They're going to, from what I understand, they're going to be doing a Boba Fett movie for the next standalone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I think I'd be more interested in actually seeing Lando Calrissian than Boba Fett.
Yeah, same here. You get that suave coolness that is those two together. There's another book coming out. It's going to be called Star Wars Guardians of the Whills. It's going to be about Baze and Chewett. You just saw Rogue One for the first time. Real quickly, what'd you think?
It was a movie that we deserved.
Yes.
And it was of a quality level, and I'm not talking story, but of quality level cinematography and really tugging at your heartstrings and getting to the heart of what's really going on.
Yeah.
I thought was far superior to The Force Awakens. And I'm even saying all across the board cinematography wise, it was much better shot, much better pacing, much better framing. I love the story. Mm-hmm. I love the story because, once again, there is cost to any conflict.
Any conflict. There's one thing, I don't know if you noticed this. Spoiler alert. Everybody dies. You got that, I'm sure. Yeah. But everybody died spectacularly.
If you're going to go out
with a bang, and I think everybody died because of an explosion.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Pretty much,
or Vader. Pick one.
Or Vader, well, yeah. And also, I was warned about the final scene with Vader, so I wasn't told what happened. But, of course, I remember A New Hope.
Yeah, you know how pissed off he was when he boarded Princess Leia.
I thought it was a fantastic transition, and I saw it with my wife, and she freaked out when she saw Vader in the tank. She goes, "Oh, they didn't pull any punches when they showed him."
In the back of the tank.
The back of the tank.
Yeah. I have a theory about that back of the tank. We'll go into it real fast. So when he's in that back of the tank, he's there obviously because of the injuries that he suffered on Mustafar, which is where his castle is. But
how messed up is this?
I know, right? But I think he was in there not only to heal himself from the burns, but there's a reason we don't see Kanan and Ezra from Rebels. I think he just got into a fight with them right before all of this happens in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
They mess him up pretty good, kind of like Ahsoka did, and he has to go heal, and he jumps in the back of the tank, and that's where we find him for the first time in the movie. Mm. That's my opinions, because, spoiler alert, little gem, you see the ghost in one of the scenes.
Yes, you do.
And so you see him on Yavin 4, so you know Hera's there because you hear her name. You see Chopper there because you see Chopper. Where's the two Jedi? I think Vader ices them right before it happens.
It's a possibility, and yes,
that's my opinion.
The thing with Vader is that I don't know. He's technically a cyborg. I think he's more zombie.
More zombie, yeah. He's like the humanized version of General Grievous, because Grievous was more robot than man, but yet he had internal parts of like a heart and eyes.
He was a living
creature
at one time. Yeah, Vader's definitely heading down the route of General Grievous.
Yeah.
But it's the issue that, yes, I saw the Ghost, to touch on that, and I was very impressed with them going back and getting the original footage.
Yeah, they archived. They found it in archive.
Yes, and because we got to see what happened to Red 5 for Luke to take his position.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Spoiler. Bye-bye. But I got to hear names.
That you haven't heard it since 1977.
Yeah, and believe me, as old as I am, that's really a long time. It's the issue is like, wait a minute. I saw Star Wars.
Gold Leader?
Gold Leader?
Yeah.
So like, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, that sounds familiar. Then I went back and watched A New Hope. I'm like, that's where I heard it from!
The mustaches, too.
Oh, yeah.
They had the mustaches and the hair.
Straight out of the 70s, man.
And I know they had different actors playing the parts, but they did so well.
The archived footage, of course, was the original actors that they just remastered. Touchy subject for remastering in Star Wars, but they did it beautifully in Rogue One.
They did it fantastically. Yeah. The look, the feel, the tone, the lighting.
What'd you think about the CGI Tarkin and Leia?
I was really impressed more with Tarkin, mainly because of the difficulty of him being on screen a lot longer.
Yeah, and the more close-ups of his face.
More close-ups of his face. Now, for me, of course, I have an eye for this. I've played with all the video software. You've played with the video software, so you're looking for the tells. But he was done very, very well. I thought
missing the mouth bags.
Yeah, but he probably has a tank somewhere too.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, it was beautifully done. Tarkin needed to be in that film.
Oh yeah.
You had to have that interaction. If you haven't read Catalyst, that interaction between Tarkin and Krennic, you had to have Tarkin there. You could not. It'd be a misfortune. It'd be a step out of the movie if he wasn't there. But yeah, I think they did a fantastic job. Some people say it was people taken out, like, oh, it took me out of the movie. It was so CGI. It was brilliant. I loved it. Every minute of it.
No, it didn't take me out of the movie. If anything, I wanted to cheer, but then it'd be really odd going, "Ooh, bad guy!" Oh.
Yeah, I have to confess, I just, my wife and I actually went to go see it the other day for the second time. It was 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago. Just because we had just because. Anyway, back to the new book coming out, Star Wars Guardians of the Whills. It's about Baze and Chewett.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read a quick synopsis here. Here we go. It's Baze and Chewett used to be the Guardians of the Whills, who looked after the Kyber Temple on Jedha, and all those who worshipped there. Then the Empire came in and took over the planet. The temple was destroyed and the people scattered. Now Baze and Chewett do what they can to resist the Empire and protect the people of Jedha, but it never seems to be enough. When a man named Saw Gerrera arrives with the grand plan to take down the Empire, it seems like the perfect way for Baze and Chewett to make a real difference and help the people of Jedha. But will it come at too great a cost? Sounds like a pretty good book. Mm. Is it something that you'd be interested in reading more about Baze and Chewett?
Actually, yeah. Just, I guess as a side effect of watching the movie.
Yeah.
But I found the characters very, very cool. I found the characters pretty cool. Now, of course, I know the Chinese actor.
Yeah.
I'm a martial arts movie fan, so he actually pulled me more out of the movie than seeing Tarkin.
I can see that. Well, you can picture Donnie Yen and other things. You're like, that's the guy from that other thing. Wait a minute.
And they keep giving him a staff. Would someone not give him a stick? What are you people thinking?
That's one thing that, kind of drew me, is like, he has a wooden staff, and he's beating these stormtroopers senseless. What is that staff made? Like, what hardwood is that thing made of?
Yeah, it was actually, I looked at it once, it's like, has little metal tips and everything, but that doesn't explain him just beating the snot out of people.
But when I watched it again for the second time, I noticed he was actually doing very precise strikes, and I know you know a little bit about this. He was hitting face plates, and he was hitting joints.
Yeah.
Weak spot in pretty much any armor.
There is an armor on the planet that you can really, protect those points.
Yeah, it's bendy bits.
Bendy bits. Humans bend. Clones bend.
Yeah, clones bend. Yep,
yeah,
that's
right. He, like I said, just seeing him kind of took me out more than seeing Tarkin. But I really enjoyed his character.
Oh yeah, Chewa's amazing.
Because it gives a broader view of the expanded universe on the grounds of not everybody's a Jedi.
In that point in time, you really couldn't be a Jedi. I mean, if Vader found out, he'd come and kill you.
I'm surprised. I guess the term in my reading, and remember, I'm kind of a new back into Star Wars of the new stuff. It's like I'm surprised he would leave Force sensitives alive. It's like let's just nip all this in the bud.
Yeah, I think that's why they kind of had the benefit of being on Jedha. It was a holy city. I think Vader being Jedi previously before he killed the younglings, unforgivable. Anyway, had a special place for that place. Didn't want to completely destroy it. I bet he knew that Baze and Chewett were there because to be a guardian of the will, you had to be part of the temple. Basically, you were a guardian of the temple.
Right.
So you were going to be known. You have to be known, but I guess they gave it up in time, or I don't know. I'm interested to see how they came around in this book because they are fantastic characters.
They are fantastic characters to see how they ended up where they're at. But it's also the fact that maybe, to touch on the Vader thing, maybe he sees them so below him that they're not worth his time.
Well, he doesn't have a lightsaber.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lightsaber.
He's not a Jedi, no lightsaber.
No Jedi? Was it no lightsaber, no Jedi? No lightsaber, no Jedi.
Or he had the high ground.
Ah.
Oh, he's on Jedha. The holy city looks like it's full of sand. He hates sand. That's what it was.
Especially with the new body. Gets into the gears.
The ventilator. Forget it.
He's already gave us that wonderful soliloquy of why he dislikes sand.
It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
You can fix the quote later. Anyway, yeah, the book looks amazing. I'll get to it eventually. It won't be on my top reading list, but it'll be there eventually. All right, see the next topic here. I think one of the last topics we have here, second to last topic anyway. Rogue One actually, Amazon let slip that Rogue One will be actually coming out on Blu Ray and DVD March 28th. I don't know if you know anything about movie release dates. Or at least DVD releases. In a quick opinion, do you think this is a good time for them to go ahead and kind of push it out to let us get ready for Episode 8? And keep in mind that Star Wars Celebration is just a few weeks after the release of Rogue One. This is the supposed date of release of Rogue One.
I think it's a good move, and my point is, it's already been out since Christmas.
Yeah, and I just saw it 2 days ago, and it was at this very, very, very tiny theater that is part of the Alamo Drafthouse that only holds probably 50 people. So they're sizing it down.
It's been out into the mass world for a while now, a little while, but in movie terms, usually they got maybe another month before they'll close showing.
There was 6 people in the theater with me.
As I said, usually in movie terms, they've already been out for a while.
Yeah, they're not making the theater any money anymore.
But the thing is, I just wonder. I feel it's a good move on the grounds up. There will be plenty of Rogue One viewing parties.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. People's home theaters can usually outdo most movie theaters, unless you're seeing it like at IMAX, or if you're familiar with AMC Prime or something like that.
Yeah, I can see a lot of Rogue One viewing parties in hopes of staying psyched
for Episode 8.
For Episode 8. So I think them releasing it on Blu Ray and then doing the lesser quality releases and then maybe even streaming later as a way to continually keep it in the perception leading up. If not, then have a binge night where you could watch Rogue One, Force Awakens, and then the movie.
Or you could do it that way, but if it's not in Rogue One, then Episode 4, if people just can't follow it, they're gonna be like, what do you mean we're going? Forget it. You mean Vader's not in this one? It's Force Awakens, and I want Vader. You get his mask. It was melted. I want Vader, not the emo Kylo Ren. Anyway.
Wow.
He's a good bad guy, and I think he's really going to develop later. But
I think he's going to become more of an interesting bad guy. Of course, rebooting the saga and introduction of heroes is always a kludgy business.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Always kludgy.
And you're always going to compare them to the originals anyway. He's not as good as Vader. He doesn't have to be. Not yet.
It's like, neither are you.
That's true.
It's like the boxing analogy. Oh, Mike Tyson's washed up. He got beat. And it's like, could you beat a Mike Tyson? No.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Right. So you may be able to spell better than him, but...
And you might not have the... Yeah, anyway, forget it.
Yeah, don't pick on Mike Tyson.
No, he's stronger, faster, and hit harder than I can.
So the whole scale of he's not as good as Vader, he's also still has all these moving parts generally, maybe not as bitter.
Yeah.
So his fall from grace may be more of a psychological thing.
Yeah.
Versus the issue with Vader, the fear of loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Really drove him down a dark path, whereas Kylo Ren is like...
He just iced his dad. He has no fear of loss anymore.
Dude, you just iced your dad. Your mom's not going to be happy with you.
No.
You're worshiping your dead granddad. And it's really creepy.
It's not...
But you're not scary.
Yeah.
But he has time to develop.
And I think it'll be fantastic when Episode 8 comes out and he's in if they do focus on him, that it's going to be just a whole bunch of character development from so you kind of see or feel for him. Not like oh, he's going to be this dark, force choking interrogator, but you actually oh crap, he actually is gifted, kind of like Anakin was. Well, shit.
Well, also keep in mind when we first see really how badass Vader is, Empire for me is when Vader really shows up.
Yeah.
That's 20-something years down the road.
Yep.
Kylo has yet to have those 20 years of bits being cut off.
That's true, yeah.
Give him 20 years the way he sword fights, hey, maybe he'll have some bits cut off by that point.
The cross guard he learned from his grandfather. Anyway, I got last piece of movie news for Star Wars. Do you know who Mark Hamill is?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he was a little film Star Wars.
He was Joker, right?
Yeah, he voiced the Joker. He played a minor role in the original Star Wars character named Luke Skywalker. Anyway, he came out in a recent interview and said that he actually defends the prequels. He says that the general public mostly overreacted on the films, and he couldn't believe some of the things that people were saying about the prequels, like it ruined their childhood, blah, 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 stuff like that. I assume you saw the prequels when they came out.
Oh yeah, I actually was waiting in line of something I say I will never do.
Yeah. I was actually probably the same lines, different theaters. But when they first came out, what did you initially think of them, and what do you think of them now?
Okay, for me, I will have to admit I was a little disappointed, but I accepted it.
Right.
And I'm couching this very carefully. Ever since Star Wars came out, Lucas would drop little hints in interviews and magazines that the Clone Wars. You'll see.
Well, it was even mentioned in Star Wars. It was like I fought in the Clone Wars with your father.
You were a great hero.
Yeah.
You were a general in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So we were always primed.
What's the Clone Wars?
What's the Clone Wars? And then you put 2 and 2 together that Obi-Wan taught Vader. How did Vader get all screwed up?
Yeah.
Somebody put him down like a rabid dog.
Who was it?
Who was it? And so, I'm actually more forgiving of the films, and I think a lot of people are, with time that goes by. I didn't think they ruined anyone's childhood.
I know. People are just, fanboys and girls lose their freaking mind when talking about the prequels. We're like, blah. Calm down.
Calm down.
Wind your neck in. You didn't make the film.
I hate to tell you this. I heard the same things as a kid with The New Hope, when they're talking about the droids ruining the film.
Yeah. With
C-3PO and R2-D2. They said, this is ridiculous. Yes, I'm going to say the evil name, Jar Jar. Now, do I like Jar Jar? No. Was he tolerable? Yes. Because if you're really talking about any movie that deals with dark things, you have to have kind of a balance, and they may have tripped on the balance aspect with Jar Jar.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
that's me looking back going.
Yeah, but by the third movie, we actually get to see the final fall of grace.
Yeah, you see.
Of Anakin. Yeah. It makes a lot more sense, and it's even more forgiving. We're like, okay, I can accept this.
Yeah.
I can see the grand arc. I can see where it comes out. That and the fact I got to see him finally put down like a rabid dog. Been waiting 20 freaking years.
By Obi-Wan. Didn't mention it to Luke at all, but whatever. Yeah. He lied to him, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah. About all those weird parts. Yeah, it's a long story.
Long story, kid. You'll be along for the ride later on.
Yeah, can you imagine the discussion with Vader's like, no, I'm your father. What? Yeah, actually, the guy that taught you? Yeah, he cut off my legs.
An arm.
Arm? What? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good dude. Real nice guy. You were hanging out with the right crowd, kid.
Talking to I was in Return of the Jedi, where he actually gets down and talks to Vader like he was going to join the dark side. Or later on in the film, when you actually see his Force Ghost, I can only imagine Luke talking to the Force Ghost of Vader, be like, "See this guy? He's a dick."
Yeah. See this guy?
Oh man, but yeah, so that was your initial reaction. Was you were disappointed, but you still had an appreciation for
I had an appreciation for and I'll be honest, I saw them multiple times each, because I did have an appreciation for it. I liked the visual effects. I liked the characters. Yes, there were a lot of them that were two-dimensional.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But once again, we started with a film. When you're introducing heroes, once again, you can get very kludgy.
Yes.
But by the third movie, I was enjoying it just for seeing the third movie. The third movie's very long.
Yeah, and it has my favorite parts of the prequels, which is the Anakin Obi-Wan fight. People are like, oh, it's so crazy. They trained, both Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor trained at full speed. What you see on the film is not sped up. Mm-hmm. That's them going at it. That takes skill. And I have appreciation for that.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the work that went into it. Also, keep in mind, when Mark Hamill started training, when he first, for Empire, he took up kendo.
He did.
He
That's what was George Lucas's goal. He wanted the sword fighting to be as authentic as it could be.
Right.
And in a galaxy far, far away, they had lightsabers, not foils or anything else. So kendo would be the closest thing.
Kendo would be the closest thing, and as someone who does study historical martial arts and weapons and armor, for a strange hobby I have, the thing is, metal upon metal behaves a very specific way, and of course lightsabers aren't metal, and so people are going, they don't behave like that. Really? Do you have a lightsaber? So...
Those ones.
Yeah. So let's go over the physics of how the light bounces or catches on each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's going to be
science fiction.
And when you use a shinai or a wooden sword in training, it behaves differently than when you're using even blunted metal on metal.
Yeah. Well, so from my experience fencing with you or sparring with you with bokens or whatever, those wooden bokens, they don't really bounce off of each other like steel or metal.
Steel springs and also sticks. People forget. You hit edge to edge, they sometimes would weld
into each other, yeah.
And you could actually do a lot of these complex. It looks like you're trying to tie a knot with spaghetti with your arms.
You're just trying to get your sword back.
Just let go. Just let go. But that was rare. But it did happen. And metal on metal reacts differently, such as I could slam a sword into a helmet and it'll actually spring up. Mm-hmm. I mean, with almost equal. Yeah. With a good helmet with a good slope, but it almost with even more force going up. So
force.
Hey, got wove that in. But the issue is like, no, the sword fighting I thought was great.
Yeah.
And also, it's one of those things where it's like, pause, bathroom break, got my Coke, back.
Yeah, that whole fight scene was phenomenal.
I'm getting thirsty watching that. You know?
Especially on Mustafar, it's all lava.
Oh yeah.
How do they survive? Let's forget it, Jedi.
And once again, he puts his castle on
Mustafar. When I first saw the prequels, I freaking loved them. The episode 1, Jar Jar wasn't my favorite. I mean, I'm saying that as a kid who saw it. I mean, I was basically a kid when it came out. I was right in that age group, right where they were supposed to be.
You were the key demographic.
I was a key demographic. I freaking loved it. I had all the toys. I mean, I had freaking everything. I had my haircut at the time. People used to call me Anakin because my haircut was exactly how Jake Lloyd's was in the movie. Yeah, that pissed me off. But the movie itself, loved them. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I love the battle scene, the arena battle scene. My favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes in the entire trilogy, like almost all of Star Wars, not all of them, but prequel wise anyway. I had every Jedi toy, every freaking one from that movie. Loved it. When episode 3 came out, I was right there, like opening night. I had my little plastic lightsaber, obviously a little older, but loved them. Loved them at the time. Best things in the world. I was happy back in Star Wars. Watched the original trilogy growing up. Loved it. Every bit of it. Looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, those are freaking terrible movies.
Yeah.
But I never stopped enjoying them.
Well,
I enjoyed them because they are Star Wars. That in itself was enough for me.
I think the hardest thing for people to do is, in film studies they call it the suspension of disbelief. Yeah. I call it turning off the CPU.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the movie. Don't think about it.
I've enjoyed tons of westerns growing up. My dad was a huge
spaghetti westerns or just
any type of western. My dad was a huge westerns fan. But I would see the era they're supposed to be in, and I would see the firearm they were holding going,
wait a minute.
Different eras.
Yeah, well, the common people are not going to know that.
But did it take away from my enjoyment of, say, like Big Jake with John Wayne?
Or, a good movie.
Movies like that? No, because the story was stronger, and the thing is, a lot of the films of the original trilogy, and I hate to say this, guys, they were not masterpieces. They are now accepted as masterpieces. They weren't at the time. There were a lot of kludgy parts in there that we overlook because we like something and we've seen it so often we edit.
Yeah, we self-edit.
We self-edit. And the same thing with these people having these strong emotional reactions to ruining. I love the line, ruining my childhood. I'm sorry, people need to have their childhoods ruined. if that's the worst...
If that's the worst, you need to evaluate yourself.
Yeah, you really got to see how sheltered of a life you've had. But the thing is, do they hold up? And I would argue, do they hold up as a standard? Yes. And do the prequels hold up as a standard? Yes. They set the story. Mm-hmm. Now, each movie has different levels of quality in story, acting, production, whatever. But do they set the story? Do they keep the story going?
Yeah, they kept the story. They brought the story back from Return of the Jedi and all there was that. Forget it. We're not going to mention it, but it brought us back into accepting Star Wars back into the big screen.
Into the big screen.
It made everything more enjoyable. I mean, I loved watching young Obi-Wan go up, kill what we assume was killing Darth Maul. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert: he's not dead. Crazy.
Rebels.
Clone Wars. Anyway. I loved watching Obi-Wan's progression more than I liked watching Anakin's progression, except for the hair he chose in the Clone Wars. The hair that George Lucas put him in was like horrible. It was like a mullet.
Oh, you're talking Anakin or Obi-Wan?
No, Obi-Wan.
Well, yeah, he did kind of have a mullet.
I understand they had to show progression. That was terrible.
It was a cross between a rat tail and Joe Dirt.
Yeah, exact good reference. Joe Dirt's hair, exactly like that. I was like, oh Jesus Christo.
It's like his name is Bubba Wan. He's from the Valley, so he doesn't.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So he's trying to represent both cultures simultaneously.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What it seemed like.
Or maybe that was the struggle with the Jedi Order. He wanted the business in the front. Party in the back. Right. Maybe, forget it.
It's also the issue of, I've always been a huge fan of Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, Obi-Wan.
I as a kid, even as when he was, in A New Hope, he was on screen as an old man. I instinctively liked him. To me, he was like a mentor figure. You say, yes, this is the dude.
This is the guy.
This is the dude.
when I was watching the original trilogy as a kid and getting used to all the characters, like for the first time, second time, third time, 10th time, 12th, watched them a lot. I actually wanted to be Obi-Wan more than I wanted to be Luke. Because when Obi-Wan gave the lightsaber to Luke, I was like, he knows what he's doing. He already has a lightsaber. He clearly knows what he's doing. And Luke is like, what is this thing?
Almost cut your
almost cuts his head off, and Obi-Wan's movie's over.
But what really happened?
My bad. My bad.
How do you turn this thing off?
D-cell batteries.
D-cell batteries. Just leave it on for a minute. It'll run down real quickly.
Right. Back in the day, electronics, D-cell batteries. Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. No. As for fans, as I aged watching the film, some of my heroes shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
I was originally an Obi-Wan fan.
Yeah.
Not ironically, my siblings kind of fell out on the line of Vader, which was...
That explains so much about you.
Yeah, it does.
It was you against the dark side.
Yeah. But they liked Vader for the fact of, they were older, so of course I saw Star Wars at a drive-in.
Yeah.
They saw Vader as kind of like a biker. And ironically, when I was a kid, they used to have people dressed as Vader do public appearances on motorcycles for Harley Davidson dealerships.
Could you imagine something like that for a Rot Rally we have here in Austin? We film in Austin, by the way. Rot Rally is this giant motorcycle convention that happens... Republic of Texas Biker Rally. That happens every year. Lots of bikes. But could you imagine that bike rally being led by someone dressed as Darth Vader down the highway?
I think
that'd be intimidating. Then you have a bunch of stormtroopers, or bikers dressed in stormtrooper armor right behind him. God, that'd be cool. That'd be badass.
We have to contact the 501st.
Gotta contact the 501st.
We gotta contact the 501st.
Luckily, we know somebody.
We know people. We have connections.
Oh, man. I think that's all we have for today. Unless you got another topic?
Yes.
All right. What you got?
Proof, people. Pimp capes are not good. Except there's only one person in the universe that can wear a pimp cape and get away with it, and that's Lando.
Vader couldn't wear one?
Evil!
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, he didn't really get away with it either, I guess, by the end of it.
Yeah, gone.
Gone!
Yeah, who else was wearing a cape? Think Rogue One?
Krennic had a cape.
Krennic.
Yeah, he done went bye-bye.
It's like...
Badass character, though.
Sorry, he was a badass character, but he kind of came across to me as like the one white walk-on actor in Dolomite. It's like, what's with the dude with the white cape?
Oh, real quick, did you notice the Death Troopers had that sort of gibbly, sound when they spoke? Like, it was all, encrypted and stuff?
Yes.
It is actually encrypted, so only Krennic knows what they're talking about, and the Death Troopers could communicate with each other without anybody else hearing it. And that's why it was great.
And touching on that, the other CGI character, the droid.
Yeah.
The tall...
K2SO.
K2SO.
One of my favorite freaking characters of that movie.
Yeah, especially because of the actor.
Alan Tudyk, yeah. He also did... he was in iRobot as Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny, yeah.
That when you actually compare them two, you actually can see it. You're like, I've seen this robot before, but he's different!
But, I like that performance, and it blew my wife's mind when I said, it's not really there. And he's like, CGI? No, actually, it's motion capture.
Motion cap. Well, yeah, he was on stilts, but most of it was motion cap. Yeah. Okay.
Plus, I know the actor, not personally, but I've heard him talk before. He does a lot of ad-libbing. He's
a funny guy.
Very funny guy.
I mean, he's played robots. Again, he was in Firefly. Mm-hmm. He was in, again, iRobot as Sonny. So I guess coming to K2SO, he was like, I'm home.
Also, the other Ultimate film, Tucker and Dale Fight Evil.
Oh yeah, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. That one.
So, shout out to him. It's great to see him back. Sort of.
Yep.
Sort of. I couldn't really see him, but other than the pimp cape reference, no.
That's all you got?
Yeah, all I got.
Alrighty, guys. Well, this will conclude our show. Sean Sharp, where can people find you? Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, a very inactive one, but it's getting uploaded with new episodes called My Medieval Life Crisis. It covers my basic personal journey in jousting. Yes, that actually is a thing and does exist. It's Austin. It is weird.
It's weird. We keep Austin weird. Well, my name is James Waddington. You can find me on Facebook under James Waddington. You can find me under Twitter under, what did I go under my Twitter? Damn it, I can't remember. So I think it's the James Waddington. It's the James 1018. I forgot I changed it.
James 1018.
You can also find this channel on Twitter as well. It's TX_DS Media on Twitter. You can also find us on www.DeathStrikeMedia.com. The website's not quite up yet. It's just a domain name. Check back for more content. We'll get it up soon. All right, guys, take care. And remember, hit that like button down below and subscribe. Comments. We need comments, too. Please subscribe. We need subscribers badly. All righty, guys. Till next time.